Can a DIYer like myself make custom charge piping going to our intercooler, which is a pretty integral part of a turbocharger because it gets rid of the excess heat? But is it really that difficult? And can we pull it off and do it ourselves? Let's see how tough this is and how much work it's going to be. Let's go. This is all the tubing we need in order to complete our intercooler piping setup. Charge piping, whatever you want to call it. If you saw the previous video, my complaint with the eBay kit stuff, it's about 1 millimeter and this is 2. Let me show you the difference again, real quick. Just look at the difference in thickness. This will be much easier to weld. For the sake of, I'm not trying to make this a show car, so I'm gonna do a brush look because I know I'm gonna scrape this up. Okay, rather than filming this for a second time, I mocked up the new piece of in-charge intercooler piping and got it tacked together, test fitted it. So now I'm going to weld it up. So let's do it. Here goes nothing. Looking pretty good. I got this side of the intercooler pipe all worked out. I just need to trim it here so that way I can put this reducer right there. So we'll get that trim, but what I want to do next is we'll go ahead and locate our blow-off valve and we'll stick that thing right about there. So let's see if we can use the old dry erase marker and get enough room in there to draw where this thing needs to go. Oh Lord, come on. I think that will get it. All right, I got it out. I'm just gonna take the cutoff wheel. We'll cut that. And then we also need to make this fit to the same diameter. Man, it's been hard getting this thing in and out. So I have managed to scratch it. I'm not going for the polished look. I think I'm just gonna do a brush look to help get rid of some of these scratches, and it will just be easier to maintain. I got a pretty rough hole cut out, but I got this trimmed down as well. Just put it on the belt sander. She fits up pretty awesome. So what we'll do is we'll just weld this thing up, and then we'll take our carbide bit and our rolls, and we'll just clean it up after we weld this thing on. So let's get after it. Got this thing all sorted out. Let's dive into it. The welds came out decent. I don't know what it is, but these type of welds are so easy for me versus this kind of stuff. Like, I can just make these look, in my opinion, a little better. But we got this all bored out. I used the port and polish kit, and this thing is smooth. I've got the edges of this thing just completely smooth. Not that it's a huge deal when it comes to a blow-off valve, but I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty proud with how this came out. Now, will it fit? Let's toss it in, see if we don't scratch this thing up any more than I have. Ugh, it's so tight in there. It's so tight, and look at that. Just look at that, ladies and gentlemen. But that's okay, because as my dad told me, it don't matter how it looks, it matters how it runs. Let's toss it in. Now for you folks to see how much of a pain in the ass it is to install this and why this thing's scratched up. Oh Lord, come on. Get in there. Yep. Just gotta shove it in there. Please be in the right spot. Please be in the right spot. As you can always twist it a little bit.
Are you too good for your home?
Oh my God, this is going to be a pain in the ass to install. especially when I put the O-ring in. All right, well, it's just gonna have to sit there because no point in completely installing this thing. Look at that, ladies and germs. Right before the throttle body. Absolutely perfect. Woo, thank God. Well, that fits up pretty dang awesome if I do say so myself. Now I'm just going to weld some beads on the end, keep this thing from coming apart. All right, we got some beads laid down. Now we just toss this guy in and we'll move on to the other side. So what I'm doing with these pieces, the finish that I'm putting on them, just using some red Scotch-Brite. I already did this piece up. Kind of helps hide some of the scratches and all that. Makes it a little bit easier maintenance wise. As you can see that this first piece that we did, just all kinds of scratched up. I'm gonna finish off this piece here, kind of show you how it works. Pretty simple. We're basically just giving it a brushed look. Doesn't take a whole lot. I had to chill this piece with a little bit of water, just kind of quench it, which is why you're seeing some of these streaks here. Even though this piece is going to be hidden, we'll still dress it up a little bit. Bada bing, bada boom. It's another night. Let's continue working on the intercooler. So one of the things that we did is we did a bunch of pie cuts for the intercooler for this side of the system. As you can see, I've got a tube running down here. We got it connected at the turbo. So we got our intercooler piping coming from the turbo, just going down around. There's a good amount of space going around the radiator hose. And then we've got a 90 coupler here coming to this piece. And this guy goes right here, and I need to make a piece. Once I shove this in here, there we go. So I need to make a piece to join these two, but I also need to extend this pie cut here, and which I have this end piece I just marked off, so I'm just gonna cut it there, weld that on, and then we'll figure out this other little piece, and we're getting pretty close. Lots of work, but we're almost there. How did screen printing even get on this thing? Can't clean it off. Just about got it. All right, let's tack her up and weld her up. Come on. Help if I have my gas on. All right, we got that little section welded on. Let's stab it on in. Perfect. And then need to make a little something to connect these two. We got her marked off. We got about 2 inches here, 1.5 inches on this side, and we'll just cut it down to size. All right, it fits pretty decent. I got a couple little marks there. We'll take everything off, we'll tack it up, and we'll weld it up. All right, let's see if this bad boy fits.
Like a glove.
All right, it fits. We'll take this off. We've got about 3 clamps we need to install, in which one of these is gonna be a real pain in the ass to get to, but that's all right. We'll slide some of these over it. Take our eBay T-clamps. The old eBay special. Take another one, put it in a place where we can actually reach it. Toss another over here. Perfecto. Toss our pipe back on. Yeah, we can reach that one pretty easy. All right, now we just need to tighten them up. It was hard to film this one, but there it is. Pretty tight in there, but we got it. The old tiny Harbor Freight wrench for the win. Okay, we got the side coming off the turbo, all buttoned up to the intercooler. So we got our pipe coming down right there, snaking around to the intercooler. Now, Scarlett, what we got to do is we need to finish this side going to the throttle body. And we need to take our tape measure. So we've got this piece coming around. But I'm just not real happy with how all this ended up. So I think I'm gonna do some pie cuts like I did at the other side of the intercooler, and I'll show you how I did that.
Hey, Dad,
and you're gonna help, right?
Yes.
So what we're going to do is take some straight pieces and essentially cut pieces that look like pie slices. It's gonna be a lot of work. I'm gonna need about 5 pieces. It'll make for a pretty tight bend. So let's get after it. All right, we're gonna start out with the fresh cutting wheel. This is what I got to use, and it will just help really just keep things nice and straight. So let's go ahead and we'll do ourselves a cut. The fun part. We're going to take these pieces here, and what we'll do is we'll just grind them nice and flat on the belt sander, make sure they're nice and flush, and it'll help get rid of some of this crap here too. All right, we got everything cut up. Everything's nice and flush. Deburred it, and then we'll just go ahead and make ourselves a 90 real quick, see how it fits up. All right, let's see if we can tack this thing together. It's gonna be pretty difficult. These pieces get hot fast. Got this thing all tacked up. Might not be the prettiest. If you're here to see dime stacking, you're probably not the right channel, but we can get this done. So it's all tacked up. I had it a little too hot right here, which isn't that big of a deal because we can just kind of grind that out. A little bit here and a little bit there. I know we're going to punch through this a handful of times, but it's just a matter of just welding this up, and we can clean the inside up. What? All right, we got everything tacked up. Let's completely weld this thing up, and hopefully we don't run out of gas. Came out pretty well for my abilities. Let me give you a close-up. So here we go. Obviously, I'm not the best welder. Anytime it just gets like big like this, those are my tack welds. I'm not very good at tack welding this stuff up, and that's normally where I punch through, and we'll have to just clean that up with the carbide bit. Not a big deal because I want to kind of clean some of these transitions up anyways, because we do have extra material built up here. So I'm just going to just kind of feather this out, and it will make it a smoother transition. But this is just a tight 90. We can kind of toss this in here we'll have to take a straight piece and extend it out to here so we can get a clamp around it. And then we just need a piece that's a little bit of a curve shot. We might be able to, I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll probably be, no, you know what? It's gonna be a little different. It's almost just kind of a 45-degree shot right there, in which we could probably just cut. Nah, it's still a little much, but we'll figure it out. We might take a straight piece and then just a little section of this. We'll make it happen, but first we just need to get the straight piece in there. We'll add on to here, and then we'll figure it out from there. Here's the trimming from part of the kit that we got. So really what I'm trying to do is just to get it right there, give us enough space towards where we can get our band around it here. It won't pop out. And because this is reducing from 3 to 2.5, I'm trying to give this the best shot at not creating too much turbulence. So we just got this thing shoved in there. We'll mark it off, and with these dry erase markers, so you can see right here, this is about as far in as it's gonna go. But I have to be really careful not to rub this stuff off. So let's get after it. We're just gonna cut it real quick, square it up, and then we'll weld it to that guy right there. All right, we got our next little piece cut off. We just need a tack welder in, and we'll weld her up, and then we'll come in here, we'll clean this stuff up. We'll get the rest of this finished. We're getting pretty close to wrapping this thing up. This came out pretty well, fits really nice. What I'm going to do is clean up some of these boogers down here. We got everything nice and deboogered. Now let's hit it with the Tootsie Roll. We'll get this thing finished up. Ooh, she's as smooth as my grandpa's butt. We got our last piece all marked up. I'm gonna trim this down and we'll test fit it and see if we can't finish this up. Let's go. All right, the piece I cut fits up pretty dang well, if I do say so myself. We'll draw a line, then we'll just weld it up. Let's tack her in and weld her up. All right, we got her all welded up. Final piece is done. Let's toss her in. We'll toss some T-clamp thingamabobs on it, and that'll wrap it up. Let's do it. It is all finished, and I think it looks pretty good for doing it myself. Learning how to weld aluminum, I recently learned how to weld aluminum. It's a little tough not punching through some of that thin pipe. However, we did it. If someone asks who did it for you, it's always cool to be able to say, I did it myself, and I think it will perform really well. Our bumper cover even fits quite nicely, and the intercooler isn't below our bumper cover, and everything fits really well. It's pretty snug, but it fits. Do I think it was worth it in the end? Yes. To pay someone to do all this labor would have cost a lot of money, and all we had to do is find a friend with an AC welder that was willing enough to loan us the welder, and we were able to make a complete custom intercooler kit. Thanks for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you've yet to subscribe, please do so, because we got more content on the way. Until next time, peace out with you. Peace out.
Okay. So I'm making a video, okay?
I was making a video.
Hey guys, what's up? I have pretty minor to do. Found out in that new video. Guys, you making that sound? Who cares if you make sound? Keep going, or you stop your mission. Get over here. Please, can somebody hear me? Hello? How do you turn it off? Then I can watch my video.
How do you turn it off?
No, how I watch my video.
Okay.